All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the founder and CEO of Gar Capital. Glad to be with you this morning and usually every morning. Yeah, sometimes I don't do a morning note just to the fact that I'm trying to search for some news to talk about. And I don't want to be rather redundant, but I want to make this point really quickly before we begin. Guys, this is about, I want to say, 3 weeks ahead of the election. It's going to be sideways. It's going to be a little bit choppy. It's going to be rather quiet. Yes, I know we have corporate earnings. Yes, I know we have non-farm payroll soon, and I think we have retail sales tomorrow. It's just going to be that way. It was this way in 2020. It was this way in 2016. It was this way in 2012. It was this way in 2008. Not really. The market was crashing. But the point being that every time, a couple of weeks before the election, the US presidential election, it's a little bit of anxiety in terms of the market. They don't know how to predict things, they don't know what's going to happen. The polls are very tight. So, again, just have that understanding, the perspective of what you're seeing. The Dow down up 11, going back and forth, ping ponging. Yes, slow all time highs, but a lot of this, guys, is election anxiety. The only reason we have a 20 VIX when the when the S&P is at 58.15 is because of that. And that's it. And it doesn't matter one way or another. You can pick whoever you want, vote however you want. Be my guest. The faster it's over, the faster we can move on and get back to work. That's really it. We're just waiting for that to be over with. That's why you're getting this sideways kind of weird quietness. Yes, yesterday the market did fall in terms of the NASDAQ. Yes, we had a red day. A lot of that was ASML, which is a chip maker that mistakenly reported early earnings and missed on their guidance. So that was the issue. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You know what? We'll skip around the horn because not much is really happening in terms of the market. You can see top left here, 10-year Treasury yields 4.020. Dollar is up again. Remember, we were just at 100, a couple weeks ago. The thing has been on fire. Eventually, you will see the 20-week moving average. On Friday, we will see where the dollar is, and we'll make our determination of whether we have a little more upside on the dollar or rejection. And then again, if the dollar rejects that 20-week moving average, I talked about that on Sunday and on Monday, is to make sure that you're positioning yourself that dollar-based assets are going to go ahead and benefit if the dollar goes lower. Volatility index up 0.58%. Gold is up 0.74%, silver up 1.13%, copper up 1%, Bitcoin is up, and so is Ethereum this morning. So let's go ahead and get to the question segment. We have a couple of trades open, but I went ahead and gave everyone on the Discord server, our option signals members, kind of the game plan of the day. So again, if you want to go on our Discord server and join up, our website is www.gar.capital. And it's bottom scrolling right there is all the information. So let's go ahead and get started. Good morning. Good morning. Let's answer this question here. Is ASML stock buy here along? Well, is it worth to buy along here? It is down pre-market. Last I saw. Let's see it. We're trading now at 703. We have one more gap. You're looking for 611 if that's where you're looking for an opportunity. You filled this gap. You're going to fill this one and more likely this one. So the point being, yes, we did have a nice fall. Let's think of a company that's had this kind of flush rather recently. Kind of do a comp. Let's do CrowdStrike. Remember this? We hit that level of support right around 200 and now it's up $100. So again, you're just trying to look for a place that you want to buy the shares. Now, $200, there was one more gap here at 149. I don't know if we'll ever get there, but $200, you can see that was basically just a check back to November 2023. Let's go back to SML. So yes, you do get bounces here and there. 700 would probably be the level that most traders are looking at for a bounce. I would not be surprised that that's where we bounce from. You can see this level of resistance from 2022 into 2023. And you can see that. Rejection, rejection, breakout, pulls back, breaks out, retests, break higher, and now your recheck. 703, you're right around here. So again, you're looking for the zone here if you get some kind of bounce. The problem is that ASML doesn't have tons of options volume that I know of. I have to check. And yes, obviously, due to the stock price being a little higher, those premiums are going to be higher, especially implied volatility. But right around here, that's where we're looking for some kind of pivot. But if you're looking for some kind of support or a level that you want to buy at, 700 wouldn't be a bad place. 611 would be the other. Again, you can always dollar cost average if you prefer. I think you just stick with NVIDIA and AMD. I don't think owning 9 million different types of semiconductors is smart. I think just own the two best ones. If you like cloud companies, the two best ones, in my opinion, Microsoft and Amazon. Just keep it simple. If you like soda, buy Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Very, very easy stuff. You don't need to own every single semiconductor. Or if you want to make life easy, you can always own every major semiconductor with SMH, with the semiconductor ETF. All right. AMD and Tesla thoughts. AMD was an L this week, unfortunately. Pulled back. We had that AI event, didn't work out, unfortunately. You got this upward channel here, breakdown below the 200-day, now testing the 100-day. So not much to do here unless you get it back above 170. We were looking for this gap to fill. We were very close, about 3 cents off, and then we fell. That's just unfortunate. So in terms of AMD, what it's showing is you're just back up this downward channel. We had a false breakout, unfortunately, and pulling back. Now, could the 100-day be support? Could be. Also got 152 being your 50-day. We will see what happens there, but I would say rather neutral on AMD at this moment. Let's see Tesla. Similar to AMD, it is right at the 100-day. You got 3 daily candles that are hovering around that. That kind of shows me that we're getting some defending of pricing there. Get me above 225.37. I want to go and play calls for next week to 235 to 240. That's actually something that I am watching very, very closely if we can catch it. The only concern I have is I believe Tesla reports earnings next week. So let me go ahead and Google that on my phone. Tesla earnings, October 2024. Yep, the 23rd. Next week, Tesla will be reporting. So I would skip any kind of trades on that because the IV will just be too high. But the expectation to me, at least holding this support here for now, is that we are going to bounce. So I would be slightly bullish into the quarter, depending on the price action, if this holds up to around 213. Good morning, CEO. Hope you're well. Thoughts on Apple and Amazon calls for December swing? I think in terms of you want to be long, you be long the day before the election, pretty much. That would probably be, to me, the best bullish call you can make, because if you're just holding now throughout this choppy kind of slow melt up, you're just going to lose premium. But if you really want to make a, kind of a wager into strong earnings, strong stock market boosts, November 4th, let's just say that Friday before November 7th, the election day, go ahead and buy calls, because that's what I'm going to do. I really do believe that the November, December are going to be great. They are. Seasonally speaking, after an election, November, December are always fine. Now, always got to use that caveat word. There's no such thing as always, but usually that's the case. I wouldn't do anything in terms of Apple or Amazon holding right now for December, for the simple fact that you're probably just going to get chopped around in terms of your premiums. You don't need that stress. In my opinion, what I think is best is, again, ahead of the election, where everyone's the most stressed, where everyone has the most fear and anxiety. What's the worst possible scenario for the market? Everything is fine. That's the last thing everyone wants. Everyone wants problems. Everyone wants issues. Everyone wants, something to happen. We're going to be fine. Everything's going to go higher. You're going to be fine. Yes, guys, the stock market will go higher regardless of who's president. I don't care who it is. When you have strong corporate earnings, EPS growth, and you have lowering inflation, you have lowering interest rates. Yes, it's happening with a 4%, nearly 3.5% GDP and historically low unemployment rates. Come on, guys. This is what it is. Could something happen? Yes, we can be hit with a meteor. Fine. Could there be some horrible yes, we don't. As for the purview that we have today, the stock market is pretty much priced to perfection. Goldilocks. And there's $7 trillion sitting in money markets right now. That money's got to go somewhere. GLD. Yes, that broke my alert. Yesterday, I was part of my watch list. And I'm still looking for that 250 call. So let's see if we can break above 247.04. Keep it rather tight. Again, I do expect gold to go higher and break out. It's just we need the dollar to comply. That's going to be kind of the dollar focused thing I'm going to be looking at this week. Friday, I will see exactly how the weekly close is, and then we'll see how gold responds. But 247.04. If that breaks, let's see what the 250 volume is. Guys, there's not a lot of options volume out there. There just isn't. All the options volume is for, guess what? Election day. Election day is going to be FOMC, NFP, CPI, all into one. That's what basically the market is pricing in. That's what Bank of America said, anyways. Good morning, Carlos. I haven't looked at Discord yet, so JPM. My Discord buddies. Okay, let's look at the hourly. We were in the money yesterday, twice actually. We have the 225 calls pulled back with the market as we saw, but it's holding up the 20 MA on the 1 hour. This is going to go higher. It's up this morning because Morgan Stanley had a great earnings call. So Morgan Stanley, JPM, all in the same sector. The only one that really took a hit yesterday was Citibank. Even BAC was up initially. Was that up yesterday? Yeah, it was up yesterday. So, the banks are doing. Goldman Sachs had a great one. Yeah, and they pulled back as well. But JPM, you could see kind of that initial run up and pullback, except JPM had that as well, but not as the full run up and pullback the way Goldman Sachs is. So Morgan Stanley today, if you have Morgan Stanley calls and traded it, probably best to take your profits, because if Goldman Sachs is any kind of analog, you're going to see that sell off in the morning, maybe. But that's what it's looking like in terms of these big banks. Pre-market, they move up and then they pull back. So JPM, back to it. Again, 225 is pretty much set in stone. The question is time. Do we get it? We should get it today with that Morgan Stanley stuff. Yesterday, the market was red, even though JPM was green. I do expect a green day today in stocks, guys. The semiconductor ASML headlines, things get overblown. That's completely natural, normal. We know that. And then guess what? It's going to bounce. I'm probably looking at NVIDIA to go long again, to be quite honest, because these kind of moves, again, they're just overdone. And it happens. This is what we get when everyone's very jittery, especially before the big day, November 7th. Gotcha. You're welcome. Good morning, Carlos. What are the current S&P resistance levels on IWM? Thank you. Yep, we had IWM this week as well. Let's look at the hourly. We're looking for 226.74. That's going to be your big level of resistance. If we go ahead and expand this out a little bit, you can see that was the highs from January 3rd, 2022. That's kind of when things started going downhill. Inflation, the war in Ukraine, pretty much all the bad things were happening. And you can see how much it fell. We still have that wedge breakout. 226.74, that is going to be your ceiling. I think we don't get above that until the election, to be quite honest. After the election, yeah. Again, it doesn't matter who wins. You can pick whoever you want. You can do your own write-in name if you want, whatever you want. It doesn't matter as long as we have a winner and we can move on. That's it. Yes, small caps will break out in November. You will probably be around the 230 to 232 level. At this point, guys, we're splitting hairs. We really are. We're trying our best to take advantage of every little imbalance. But at the end of the day, it's waiting for the bus for November 7th until that's done. But that's what I'm looking for in terms of resistance. Good morning, Carlos Palantir. Yes, good old Palantir. I thought it was overbought and thought that we would get a little bit of a pullback, but it's been absolutely on fire. In my opinion, at all-time highs, it's very difficult to trade. That's really the reality of it. 45 was the wick high from January of 2021. And we haven't yet broken that. So in order for us to have a complete real-time breakout of the weekly chart of, wick highs, we need 45. My opinion, I think things get overheated. We'll probably get a little bit of weakness. I wouldn't be surprised if Palantir comes back down to 40, and that's where I want to go ahead and trade it long again for calls. But as of right now, unless you get above 45, maybe. But even that, you're probably chasing at that point. So I'd be careful. Power moves. It says Meta. SAS Meta. Sorry about making it political, guys. That's not my point. I just want to give everyone the perspective that it's all the same thing. I've been doing this for 10 years, and now tomorrow is the birthday of Gar Capital. I'm thinking about it. How many elections have I traded and looked at? 3. 2016, well, 2014 was a midterm. 2016, 2020, and now will be 2024. So 3 presidential elections. It's all the same thing. Back to Meta. 60809, that's where we're looking at for the breakout of this channel. You can see it here. Once we break above it, you can go as high as the imagination wants. In my opinion, I would prepare everyone for that. Meta will do a stock split next year. So $608 a share, 586, that's going to be done with. When you get lowering rates in order to attract new investors, Meta and these big companies that had big stock prices. I remember when Apple was trading at $800 a share, and that had to be stock split. I remember when Amazon was $2,500 a share, Google $2,800 a share, all split. Remember when Nvidia was like $900 a share? Same thing. Meta will do a stock split probably next year. That's going to be bullish because the market will be too. So as of right now, no, there's not much to do on Meta, unfortunately. Just going to have to wait for 6.808, 610. Maybe you'll get an opportunity, but I wouldn't put too much emphasis on Meta as of this chart right now. Vote for me. I'll get the S&P to 10K maybe. I promise you in 20 years, the S&P will be at 10K. That's a mathematical certainty. Elmo can be president if that's the case. It don't matter. Remember, guys, the stock market is a measure of inflation. Ooh, that sounds terrible, right? Measure of inflation. Yeah, stock prices go up, right? What do you think? You think stock prices are going to go up and other things prices are not going to go up? Come on, that's just reality. This is priced into dollars. If the dollar goes down, asset prices priced in dollars will go up. Now that the dollar is going up a little bit, fine. But yeah, we do have fundamental backing of why the stock market is going higher. I mean, the bull market is about to turn 2 years old. Not like I'm telling you anything new, guys. I'm voting for Dylan. Me too. You promised me 10K. I want it. How could we play Bitcoin at this moment? Will it break out depending on who's elected? It will break out regardless of who's elected. Doesn't matter. Again, it's about getting this over with. It's like going to the dentist. Yes, it's going to suck. Yes, there's going to be waiting. Yes, you're going to have to deal with some things of insurance or whatever. You know what I mean? No one likes going to the dentist. No one really likes election day anxiety, especially Wall Street, because now we have to wait on what others do. There's no control. Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, JPM, these trading desks are now waiting to see what your decision is in terms of politics, what your vote is for, and they have no control whatsoever. And that's scary. That's scary for investors. We don't know what's going to happen. No one knows. I mean, anything could happen, right? That's the anxiety. Dumb, but it's every 4 years. Welcome to it. HIMS, which is HIMS. Anything good here on the daily? Maybe above 24, you can trade it to 26. I figure that there's not a lot of options volume from there. But again, if you're looking just for a quick move, yeah, I guess you could do, let me see the daily one more time. Yeah, 24, I guess. Listen, I think there's better opportunities out there. But in terms of the stock itself, hey, at least it's profitable. You can see the EPS is positive in comparison to negative. I don't know much about them. I have to research them a little more. But just based on the chart, you get above 24 and a quarter, you could do the 26 calls if there's options volume. I got it in 19 years for sure. Oh, yeah, we're set. 19 years will be the S&P at how much? 10K? You have my vote. Let's see. Questions on Instagram. Carlos or Carlise. NVIDIA today. Let's look at it together. I'm answering some Instagram questions. Give me a second here. All right. Instagram questions. NVIDIA. Let's see it. Again, beautiful triangle breakout. Come on. We've traded this 3 times in the past, 10 days? Not bad. Rejected 140. That was kind of expected. Measured move back to the resistance. Now here's the question. Do we get down to 125, retest this 20-day moving average and bounce? Or we wait for the bounce here around 130 and buy it? So let's see it. 1 hour chart. Yeah, 130 seems to be that support. And if you're looking for more upside, if you break 135, you can always do the 140s. In my opinion, on NVIDIA, this is what I think the best bet it will be. I think you wait and you place your alert here at 125. If we circle back to 125, maybe ASML has worse headlines. Who knows? Anything could happen. But if we pull back for some reason, 125.08 comes, we can use that to buy calls to 130, $5 increments, and use 121 as support. That is still that triangle support level, which was resistance. So remember, previous resistance becomes support and inverse, vice versa. Let's see what else we got. Hope everyone's having a great morning this morning. Glad to be with y'all. I'm up 62% for the year and liquidated everything last week. Is it premature or should I go back in? I usually have 30% year target. This is from Safi. Well, I just want to say congratulations. And there's one thing I've learned in about 38 years of life. I'm 38 years old. Never try being happier than happy. If something that you decided and you liquidated everything and you feel pretty good about it, congratulate yourself. You did an excellent job. There's a lot of banks on Wall Street that can't do that. In terms of getting back in, that's really up to you. Do I think you should get back in? I think you should enjoy your great decision of making profit and making money. Give yourself some grace and enjoy. You're not going to miss anything, especially not now. Not for the next 2 weeks. You're going to be fine. Well done. Congratulations. Kamala wins, Bitcoin goes up. Trump wins, Bitcoin goes up. You got it. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like, did Bitcoin like go to zero during Biden? It doesn't matter. It hit new all-time highs under Biden. So Biden, Elmo, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, whoever you want to put in there. Yes, we try to make it that they affect things. Yes, there is legislation, blah, blah, blah. Bitcoin is just black market currency where you can buy really bad things. For example, it's the universal black market currency. The reason you're holding Bitcoin is the fact that you want to have access to what other people want. Pretty much it. Just like any kind of collectible, except Bitcoin does have some utility and value. That's it. Some people like collecting watches and sneakers. Some people like collecting Bitcoin. That's fine. Totally works for me. The best thing about Bitcoin, guys, is liquidity. 24/7 access to your money. How wonderful. Problem? Volatile. Morning. Not if you're not talking Bitcoin. I don't want to talk. See, our members, our guys, our followers, they have rules. They say, if you're not listening to me, I don't want to talk to you. That's totally cool. But if you have a question about Bitcoin, please ask away. Here to help. Let's see. All right. So I guess we got all the questions out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the day in terms of our Discord server. Hope to see you there. If you are interested in joining, www.gar.capital. Tomorrow is 10-year anniversary of Gar Capital. Can't wait. I'm so happy about this. Like another birthday. Not a lot of businesses stay open 10 years. I'm super proud of everyone and the team. I'm super blessed to even be here. Thank you so much to you guys for listening. Thank you to you all for watching. I was going to say something regarding the 10 years. Yes, I will do a podcast on that. I was just forgetting. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a podcast kind of recapping 10 years and how we did and some of the advice I can give or some of the memories that I've had. But at the end of the day, I want to finish this point. We have a promotion running for lifetime signals. It was only something special that I thought of because it's a 10-year anniversary, but that ends tomorrow. There isn't going to be any lifetime signals, guys. That's pretty much over with in terms of the deal. To be quite honest, since the market is moving higher and people love bull markets, demand for our company has really skyrocketed. A lot of people want to learn. A lot of people want to understand the market and trading. And I get it. It's difficult. It takes time. Take your time. We're here to help. I went ahead and posted a couple things on the workshops and webinars talking about different jargon that you may not understand, different events. It's free for everybody. Guys, it's a very difficult world out there in order to learn trading and all that stuff. There's a lot of weird stuff out there. Maybe people that, you may trust or not trust or what have you. The idea is who's helping you, who's informing you. That's going to be the key. So we're here to help. 10 years in, we'll always be here. So I just want to leave it on that note. Thank you guys so much for being part of this. And we're about 4 minutes away from the bell, so I'll stop talking. Have a great rest of your morning. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers all.